What's going on, guys? It is day 5. That's right, day 5 of this wet and gloomy in the mid-Atlantic, and it sucks. But you know what? That just means I got more time to sell sports cards, more time to talk to you guys. And today we got a couple topics. We got more talk about the eBay standard envelope and more talk about do you need a store, because you guys have had some great comments and I want to touch on a couple of those and talk about it a little more in depth. So let's go. So Roland has been having a lot of his eBay standard envelope returned, and it's coming back for more postage required. And the reason why is his post office says everything's been coming back as non-machinable. So in that case, he wants to know what protection I use, because he uses top loaders and he's wondering if I use the same thing. Roland, all I have to say is that is unfortunate. All those cards have come back with additional postage needed. I'll be honest, that's never happened to me. I have not had that once with the ESE yet. Now that I'm saying that, I'll probably get one. It's just the way things work, right? But yeah, I've never had one returned for extra postage due. Your post office says the envelopes are not machinable. That's not correct. It's probably a post office somewhere that might touch them and say these aren't, or their machine might have jammed, so they just threw them all back and said, send us more money. Something like that. Now, what kind of card protection do I use? I use top loaders, just like you do. I have never had an issue with my local post office accepting them. I go to 2 different ones. No issues at either place. I have my cards, they go through the Philadelphia sorting facility, and I've never had an issue there. Do you use the 10 or 6 envelopes? The number 10 or number 6s? The number 6s are these little guys. Number 10, the longer ones. Me, I use these little ones for anything that's an individual card or one set. If I'm gonna have to send like 5 or 6 or more, then I switch to this size. The reason being, these take up more of the room in this, where here, there is a lot of extra space. And that, I'm wondering if that could be the problem. Are you using a 10? Does all the extra space possibly jam their machines, where it's like maybe you taped it in the middle and it's and then gets jammed when it gets here? Or is it sliding around because it's not fully secure? Here, my cards get pretty secure, pretty tight. We'll show you with this one after we put it in the envelope. But yeah, that's what I use. I use the number 6s. I use, obviously, top loaders. Tape it up, get it secured. And I tape the edges here. That way, when I put it in the envelope, it sticks and there's no sliding around. Because even here, you see there's a little bit extra, but not a lot. But yeah, I have not had any issue with top-loaded ESCs. So that's pretty unfortunate. You've had so many sent back. It's got to be your local hub. It really does. Roland also has a question about eBay standard envelope tracking. He says his post office can't scan the envelopes because there's no way to do the tracking on them. And that is a common complaint and something I can definitely address for you. And the second part of your question about the scanning. Yes, they don't scan in the fact where if my local mailman comes and I hand them to him, he can't scan them and get tracking. Your post office counter, they can't scan them and get tracking. There's just no way for that. The ESC barcode, this is what it looks like. That is like your business type barcode, you know, that you would see on publications like your magazines or the old spam mail we would get, like with advertisements, sometimes bills. It's that bulk purchase type scan. This gets scanned at the sorting facility when it goes through the machines, which is why you sometimes get the customers that say, hey, it says delivered, but I haven't gotten my card yet. Well, that's because it went through at the sorting facility. Doesn't mean got to your local post office and then got on the truck and then got delivered to you. That could take another couple days. Uh, so that's why there's no true tracking, but there is a generalized tracking. That kind of makes sense. Again, like we've talked about many times here, guys, what we get from ESC, even with its flaws, is better than anything we had when we just sent it out in these white envelopes and slapped a stamp on them. We got a little more protection. We at least have an idea where our cards are and got a little bit of tracking, even if it's not complete tracking. Eric loves the channel. He loves how relatable the content is, and he appreciates the genuine experiences and the humility that I bring. Eric appreciate that. He loves it because it's not the usual, look how much money I made because I'm so good at flipping sports cards. Eric, I do appreciate that comment, and I do appreciate that you find it relatable and appreciate, you know, the genuine experiences and the humility about it. It's one of the, it's who I am. I don't want to brag. I don't want to be that guy saying, "Oh, look at all these sales, look at all these sales," and not show you the real of this. Too many people, see, I've done an everything reseller, and I've seen so many people come into this space thinking they are going to make tons of money and then make nothing and go broke pretty quick, because some of these people that are on YouTube aren't showing you the real day-to-day grind of being like an everything reseller. And I'm seeing that with the sports card sellers as well. How many of these at the card show guys are going, bought this for 5K, sold it for 8K, boom. Okay, but what about all the losses? That's what I love about Justin Gamble. Gamble, they show their losses as well. How many times do we see the title of his thing? Lost another 20,000 in 20 minutes. And he shows you how he took the L. But a lot of the sports card resellers aren't doing that. They're just, you know, all glitz and glam, you know, looking for the YouTube views more than just talking about the day-to-day sales of sports cards and the part of the hobby that's actually taken up by most of us. Most of us aren't dealing with those high dollar sales, big dollar cards. Most of us are dealing in these little common base low end inserts. That's what a majority of the hobby is. That's what a majority of the hobby can afford. I mean, you guys may disagree. Some of you probably do, but that's how I kind of feel. Like most of us are just looking for that lower end stuff that the players would like. We're not dealing in these high figures. So yeah, I mean, that's me. I'm going to be genuine. I'm going to be, you know, kind of humble. Sometimes I'll brag, but most of the time I'm going to be humble. So Eric, thank you for watching. I do appreciate you being here. I appreciate every one of you guys that are watching. And while I'm saying that, if you're watching and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, you should probably think about it. If you already have hit it, then you should probably hit the like button on this video. What do you think? Bargain Boxer says, if you stopped the listing and had the biggest store on eBay, would you still be making great sales? Absolutely not. You would not. And if you're not listing, all you're doing is getting pushed down in search. And that we all know is the case. So all that matters to the greed monsters at eBay, I like that, the greed monsters at eBay, is listing consistently. So list your items consistently. That's more important than the store, is what Bargain Boxer is saying. So going back to the video about the eBay store, and do you need an eBay store to get sales, to get the algorithm going? Do you? Bargain Boxer, he had that great comment, and you know what? Everything he said is true. You can have a store, but if you don't list in your store, does it matter? Are you going to get sales? If you just put the items in there and just let it sit and never put anything else, are you going to make sales? You'll make some sales. Will you make a lot of sales? No. Can it take a while to get a sale? Oh, yeah. My store, I'll be honest, I've gone about 2 weeks without listing again. I know, 2 weeks, but got busy. And my sales are starting to taper off. I'm still getting between 10 and 20 cards a day, but it's definitely not as good as it could be if I was listing every day. You need to keep listing and listing to make sales. Doesn't matter if you have a store or not. Listing is the key to the game because new listings higher up in search. The longer listings sit there, lower they go. And having a store is not going to change that. Okay, 10th inning cards. He doesn't think a store matters for the algorithm at all. What does matter is promoted listings, novel idea, you're paying eBay, and a high feedback score. Concentrate on keeping a high feedback score because in his opinion, that's also going to help the algorithm. In 10th inning cards, he's right as well. I don't think having a store plays part of the algorithm. Listings, obviously. Maintaining a good feedback score is another metric. And then the other one, which I go back to what Bargain Boxer said, the greed monsters at eBay, 10th inning card says paying for promoted listings. Paying for promoted listings definitely helps the algorithm because eBay wants more money. eBay wants it. So if you pay them, they're going to promote you. Is it going to lead to a sale? No, but it's going to give you a better chance to get a sale. So promoted listings, listing, having a store, I don't think it really helps in the algorithm. And guys, that's what I got for you today. In the meantime, let's see what video I think you should go watch next. Since we're talking about it, let's go talk about it. Go look at the video. Do you need an eBay store to sell sports cards? Do you need the store for the algorithm? Go check it out. I'll catch you guys on the next one.